Hey, though I know it's been a while. I mean, it hasn't been too long. Okay, never mind, it's been a bit, but point is I'm back and I wanted to talk to all of you about a movie that I recently saw that I think I have a pretty interesting take that nobody asked for, and that movie is... This movie's nuts, bro. I can't even lie. The first and foremost, I know everybody wants to know, is this movie better than Sinners? No, it is not. I thought it was going to be better than Sinners. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I'm lying. I didn't think it was going to be better than Sinners. But it was a good movie. And I actually think that I can't compare the two because Marty Supreme and Sinners are just two really different movies. Genius take I just made there. Amazingly genius take I made. Marty Supreme, in my opinion, represents the concept of American exceptionalism. Let's get into what the definition of American exceptionalism even is. Okay, so American exceptionalism is that, but it's not only that. It's the belief that you can live without consequences. And the main character of this movie, Marty, lives like this the entire time. This guy is not a good person, I can't even lie. Throughout the film, there are like multiple times where Marty will do crazy or terrible things. And I understand, I definitely understand, he's a hustler, you gotta make a buck. But also there are a couple times where he definitely could have succeeded at his goal. And because he believes that he has to do it all on his own and there are no consequences for him, he completely messes everything up. I saw this very clearly with Kevin O'Leary's character, Mr. Rockwell. He offered him an opportunity to go to Japan before the Table Tennis World Championship and play against Endo, who had recently beat him before. Marty literally says that he's not gonna do this because that's a stain on his career. You can't do that. I mean, it'll happen a couple times in the movie where he'll simply deny a lot of the opportunities given to him or mess up a lot of the opportunities given to him because he has a supreme belief that everything is gonna work out in the end anyways. I'm pretty sure he literally told Gwyneth Paltrow's character, in the middle of the movie, when she asks, okay, what if none of this works out? He says, the thought of that doesn't even enter my mind. I think that's in the trailer. I actually think that's in the trailer.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work out?
That doesn't even enter my consciousness.
I think Marty Supreme does an amazing job at making you want the main character to win. The entire time watching the movie, I was like, man, this guy sucks. But at the same time, I was like, man, you need to get a win, you know what I mean? Because his life sucks, honestly. He's living alone with his mom. He has a baby on the way. He has no money at all. He's completely broke. Table tennis is the only thing that he really has going for him. He got his girlfriend, kind of, Odessa Azion, pregnant, and he repeatedly refuses to say that's his kid. I mean, it's very obviously his kid. That is so obviously his kid. But at the same time, the movie does a great job at framing arrogance as confidence. And it does the best part at confusing ambition with righteousness. Marty goes out of his way to do some things where I'm like, man, that's slimy, gang. That's really slimy, Marty. But I'm just like, you know what? He's really out here grinding, bro. He's really out here grinding. No, bro, you're not grinding. You're doing slimy things to get ahead. But what does all of this have to do with American exceptionalism at all? Because I just threw that out there and I never got back to it. Well, let's talk about it. As I mentioned before, American exceptionalism is the belief that because of who you are, you can live without consequences. And Marty Supreme really toes the line of what those consequences really are. There are just a couple things that Marty does in this movie that I just audibly sighed at. Let me read it off. Told his girlfriend that he got pregnant, that her life meant nothing despite being broke, and continuously used her as a way to get opportunities or just sleep somewhere. He scammed some randoms at a bowling alley just because he needed money, and that was with Tyler the Creator. Tyler the Creator's in this movie, by the way. I'm not going to talk about him. I don't really care. They were pretty chill guys, those guys at the bowling alley. I'm not going to lie. They were white guys in 1957, so I thought they were going to be really weird, but they were actually pretty cool. They were looking out for Marty and his friend. They were like, hey, bro, let's get you home. Marty just scammed him. I really enjoyed that scene, but I was also it was kind of like a scummy move, stealing from Gwyneth Paltrow. And this is directly after laying pipe. So I was just like, oh wow, like this guy will do anything for a quick buck. And it's a clear indicator that Marty values people as long as they are helpful to his momentum. And that reminds me of a lot of the more geopolitical conflicts that I see in the modern day. I mean, I can go and turn on the news right now and genuinely just ask myself the question, who benefits from all these things happening right now? And I think Marty Supreme does a great job at answering that question, where if you're doing all these things where the ends justify the means, we just haven't seen the positive outcome of those means yet. And it just seems that there's a lot more negative than the positive could even help outweigh. And, you know, there's one more thing that I wanted to mention, because it was probably the worst thing that I thought Marty could do. And it was debasing himself for Kevin O'Leary's character. So Kevin O'Leary's character says, man, you know, if you want this opportunity, you're gonna have to take your pants down and let me hit you with a ping pong paddle. Just the concept of that, is just insane. When I was watching, I assumed that because Marty had said no to every other thing before, of, yeah, dude, I'm not gonna do that because I'm the best. I can't do this without, you know, doing it all by myself. I'm thinking, well, Marty, no way Marty's gonna do this. I was wrong. Marty pulls down his pants and he lets Kevin O'Leary slap him with a ping pong paddle. And I think what I'm describing in the context of American exceptionalism is its eventual collapse. You see, I think in this scene, Marty is not only a microcosm of the American experience, but he's also a macrocosm. Oh, vocabulary words coming in here. And what I mean here by microcosm is Marty as an individual being a representative of the American exceptionalism, and a macrocosm of how that system humiliates and punishes people like him whenever they try to actually be exceptional by themselves. The moment real actual power is involved, the idea of living with no consequences just flies out of the window. Marty believed the entire movie that he was not above other people, but that he was just destined to make it above other people, and in the way that he wanted to. But the moment real power was put in front of him, I mean, you know, he dropped his pants. I mean, that's what happened, you know? The moment that opportunity is brought up, Marty throws his principles out the window. And it's so clear that this is a really good reflection of how real world politics has been recently. But let me give me like 5 minutes to explain what I mean. What I mean by this is that it seems that a lot of people, certain people in certain positions of government, have seen real power, and real power can either be in the form of money, opportunity, or influence. And the moment they see that, they throw their ideals away. And I thought Marty Supreme, I was like, oh my goodness, Marty, like the moment you got that opportunity, you pulled your pants down? Me personally, if you tell me that I had the opportunity to become the biggest YouTuber on the planet, and all I had to do was pull my pants down in front of like 5 other guys and let one of them slap me and paddle me. You see how crazy that sounds? The fact that Marty's doing this for table tennis as well. I mean, oh my gosh, is table tennis that fun? Marty comes back from Japan after defeating Endo in the real match, because in the fake match he loses because it was staged, but in the real match he wins. And he shows everybody in the Japanese crowd, he's like, you know what, this is how we do it. I'm a real G. And I was honestly happy for him. I was like, you know what, Marty, good job. Like, you were able to prove it to yourself. But he's still in the position he started in. He's still broke. His girlfriend's still pregnant. He has no money. I mean, everything about this guy's life is still kind of mid. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, not even mid, bad. Everything about his life is still pretty bad. But there's something different about it. When Marty comes back home, he goes to the hospital and immediately asks for Odessa Azion. I should say her character's name. I feel like I'm failing a litmus test right here. He immediately asks for Rachel. And in this exchange, they say, oh, it's family members only. And Marty says for the first time, that's fine. I'm the father of her child. Wow, Marty. I mean, to me, that was like, dang, you know, it was like seeing a deadbeat just acknowledge the fact that he's been a deadbeat and come back. And it's like, okay, well, you know, you were still low-key like a pretty bad person earlier, but like, you know, good on you. You know, that's cool, man. I'll give you that one. Well, as I stated before, American exceptionalism is the idea that you can live without obligation. The rules don't really apply to you because you're that goated. But there's something different. I mean, you can't really argue with a crying baby or externalize the cost or negotiate power with it. And I feel like that scene was so powerful to me because that's the first thing or person in the entire movie that does not care at all who Marty is, when the entire time Marty has been going around talking this much shoot because he believed that who he is all that matters. Marty is faced with a person who's forcing him to be responsible, who's forcing him to look at all the things in his life and actually knuckle down. Now, of course, the movie ends directly after that, but that was the only scene where I truly thought that Marty actually kind of won. Baby isn't just Marty's responsibility. It's the next version of a belief system that he has. And whether Marty decides to pass on confidence or collapse and indignifying activities is based on what he does next. And now he actually has to think about how those actions affect others. And that's the one thing in this movie that he can't walk away from. That's it for today. I know that was like low-key a short video, but I just honestly wanted to come back and make something. I really hope that this is like a good take or like an actual interesting video and not like one of those I'm 14 and this is deep videos. And if it is, just put that in the comment section. Just let me know, honestly. I also put my Letterboxd in the description so all of you can, maybe follow me, so I won't have to use the same gag again. And also so maybe you guys can see how much of either a genius or a hack I am. But thank you so much for watching. I do really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. And hopefully next time isn't in the next 6 months. Bye.
Yeah. Come on. We love. Yeah. Walk down, right now. Walk down, right now. Spotlight dancing. 762 with a big ass drink.
Bye.